Hey guys, this is Kenny inside the Ticker Marathon Money. We're back. Well, we got a returning Hans. Everybody's been asking me about this, and every time you guys shoot me an email, DM me, I make sure to try to remember to shoot him an email about coming back on the show. But for you guys who watched the first episode, and for you guys who didn't, let's just give a recap. This is a franchise model coffee shop. Am I correct? With the slash of cannabis, and you've been expanding the last time we talked. Am I correct?
Yeah, we have. We've been doing some things.
You know what I mean? And you guys have done a lot, a lot. You guys are, for I know I'm getting ahead of myself. You guys are profitable as the end of like quarter 2025. Am I
Yeah, we,
correct?
we, we ended the we ended last year profitable, and we've continued to squeeze out some profits, and but for the most part, reinvesting everything back into the growth.
Man, that's amazing. So tell me like just how the start of this year's been, maybe start of like the end of last year's been, the start of this year's been, before we start getting to like the nitty gritty of like what you really been up, how the company's progressing, and what's your vision for the rest of this year, and what we can look forward to. So just start with the end of last year.
I'm trying to remember all this stuff, man. It goes so quickly, but I appreciate you having me back, Kenny. Always a pleasure. Okay, so what have we been working on? Store rollouts has been a big deal. That's really been, taking up a lot of our time, right? Project managing, getting these stores rolled out smooth, efficiently. So we did get Houston open. That
Yeah.
just recently opened about the past month. They're having this month has been its soft opening. We're getting a lot of great feedback. Working out all the kinks, and they're planning a grand opening early next month or mid next month. We did get San Marcos open. Same thing, great soft rollout. Learning a lot of stuff. Getting them all tightened up. They should be having their grand opening early next month as well. Then we did sign another 3 pack for the Hill Country here in Texas. So we are working on the starting portion of the build out for Kerrville. We expect Maryland to get open. Man, that one's just been it's run into everything that the city could throw at it,
Yeah.
but once it gets through permit purgatory, we expect that one to open real soon.
So when, because here's the thing, I know like you got some opening, some grand opening happening in June this month, right? That's
Yeah,
already happened, and stuff are rolling around. Everything you told me when we spoke back in like the middle of like last year, everything you told me like it came to fruition. You executed.
that's what I'm supposed to do, right? I mean,
Yeah,
so I've been
yeah,
working on it
yeah.
and get
You
my
came to fruition. You executed extremely well. Like this is very actually. This is what we want to see from a franchise model. You
yeah.
know what I mean? Um, you know, I do want to like say something about Maryland. Like once you execute that, you've proven that you can execute really well. Would this be the standard on how you're going to move in states that does have a problem, not with the coffee shop, but with the cannabis shop? Since they're throwing everything at you, now you kind of have the blueprint to kind of move in other states. Might be they're trying to stop you. Because what are you seeing from Maryland that you guys are overcoming everything they're throwing at you, that to the point where you
I
guys pretty much put it over
actually,
the top?
it's really not the hemp and the cannabis thing that is the issue. I mean, really, it's some of the more just traditional, red tape. Honestly, when it comes to the cannabis and hemp, we can figure it out. We will approach and strategically enter markets that make sense, right? That has to do with barrier to entry, cost of doing business, limited licensing situations there, whether it be cannabis or hemp market. Uh, so yeah, we've learned is we'll enter into markets that make sense. Texas is such a massive market. Uh, we want to make sure that we focus and do our best here in Texas. And as we expand regionally, we do have our cannabis lounge in New Mexico, which we also did uh, use that location to file with the DEA for federal registration. So to answer the question, we'll just do it smart when we're entering new markets. Uh, every market is different when it comes to hemp and cannabis regulations. that we know for a fact. Now you just got to get through plus the traditional red tape of getting through city, zoning, building departments, and all that fun stuff.
So tell me about this proprietary tech stack that you have.
Right on. Yeah. It works. It's super cool. The problem within the industry is POS systems, right? I mean, and I think that goes with all businesses, right? And the one thing that we know is that there's no one size fits all. And with our POS system or the tech stack, it's customizable, very customizable, so that it addresses all of the pain points that any cannabis business could face, right, or faces, and they're always new. But the big value component of it is that it integrates with states' required track and trace systems. So this is kind of how it's built. It's the POS system. It's also integrated with the state's track and trace system. It also integrates with the businesses' online e-commerce platforms. Also integrates with their loyalty systems. Also integrates with their pickup and delivery systems as well. Tons of data is all shared within the stack, and everything is working and it's scalable. You can build on it. It's great for a franchise, and it's a hybrid system that can essentially track your data from the last cup of coffee to the last gram you sold, and has amazing reporting capabilities. And it's hybrid for a retail dispensary model as well as a consumption lounge that would have some type of hospitality restaurant model involved. So it's great. It works. And it integrates with third-party payment processors, so that allows it to be open, agnostic, and doesn't just trap you into any type of POS ecosystem, right? We don't want to be stuck with bricks of equipment and hardware. So it's awesome. I love it, and we're always learning more and more about it and how to build on it.
So yeah, this is kind of part of the package when a franchisee opens one of your laser cut coffee shops.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, the tech rollout, that's actually something we learned more about these past two rollouts, right? How to make that, because the tech the tech, we've taken the better part of a year to integrate it into our franchise, and these last two franchises, Houston and San Marcos, those were the newest franchises to get this tech and to get this POS and this tech stack. And we just want to make it smoother, better, quicker, faster, user friendly, all that.
So, last time we did talk about like the corporate rebranding and getting the ticker symbol change and all that. So, like, how is that going so far?
As of yesterday, so awesome. We got our confirmation from the Wyoming Secretary of State that has been changed from MEDH to DAZE Inc. So now we have changed the name of the company. We have now moved on from the old chapter of MEDH to the new fun era and awesome era of DAZE Inc. I'm in the final stages with FINRA in order to get the ticker symbol changed. I've submitted copious amounts of documentation that's required for it, and
always a lot.
We're right there,
and
I'm on top of it. So I can't wait. I cannot wait for us to just. It's just going to be new era, new chapter. It's good. It's a good feeling.
So can we go back to like some of the coffee shops, that are open up? How are they? You know what? Let me rephrase that question. How are the ones that you already opened that's been running? How are they doing? And then compared to the new ones in different areas, can we talk about like just maybe the struggles or like how you're seeing those come along? Are they following the plan and you're able to generate revenue from that to make the bigger roadmap? I know we talked about the roadmap to like Vegas, having a flagship store out there and stuff like that. Well, so how is that going?
So the franchisees, I'm going to say in general, they're happy. the stores are making money, right? That's a good thing. That's what the owner wants to see, is the stores making money. Um, and what are the struggles? I think the struggles are just the same struggles with any business getting up and going, right? From just the first 6 months of anything that could go wrong, maybe something was installed backwards or whatever, right? So um, then getting their footing, understanding the ordering process, understanding their clientele, understanding some trends in their particular community, whether they're close to a university, like for instance, this summer, right? They're some of the stores are experiencing their first summer, so they ask questions as, do the dog days of summer really affect sales, right? Um, how close is walking traffic, driving traffic? Is the school out? How many students stay? Or even if they're close by the university, are they far enough that that area still has its own community that doesn't necessarily leave during when school's out for the summer? I mean, that's just an example, but learning when we roll out new capabilities, functionalities with the tech, right? Training, ongoing training is something that we always feel we've got a good grasp on, and then we learn that we're like, we need more training, right? So the franchises are doing good. From the corporate standpoint, we are earning residuals. We are earning the residuals that's part of the business model, right? And that's working, and that's awesome to see those residuals trickling in. There's a lot of work that goes into opening a store, maintaining it, and then the ongoing support. So yeah, that's good. I'd like to see bigger, faster growth, right? And so these last two, San Marcos and Houston, another great learning experience.
You have the store in New Mexico and Albuquerque that is like corporate owned,
Yeah.
fully operational. What is the average weekly revenue at that ABQ location? And what gross
Ooh, don't ask me that one. That one's I'm not happy about. I'm not happy about the Albuquerque one. It could be doing much better. That's a lesson in different markets, right? Like when you ask about what market does what, there's all these things to think about, and playing in cannabis markets can be more expensive and have higher ongoing overhead than a store in a hemp market. Uh, but I would like to see that store doing uh, much better, much better. But we'll get it there. We'll get it there. I think New Mexico is also going through a period of consolidation. We're seeing a lot of dispensaries close down nearby us.
Yeah.
We are seeing the cannabis control division
Hmm.
really get tough and flag a lot of stores. So we went through some headaches with that, and it wasn't fun. And I don't think it's. I think it's just. I think it's still a new market, right? I think they're two. No, sorry, they're like 3 or 4 years in of having a full recreational market, and only about 2.5 years in with consumption lounges. So even the city and the state don't even have not yet to agree on all of the consumption lounge rules and regulations, and we experienced that firsthand.
Yeah.
That was painful.
So, but you're kind of in the stage where like you're working through this very vast land where you're probably going to be one of the pioneers, of this, where there's going to be a time where, like, for example, there's going to be a time where the people that comes after Gen Z, they're going to be normal to this, where like a cup of coffee and cannabis will be
Yeah,
going together, but as of right now, like, in a Schedule 3 only world, but like, where do you see yourself, where you find yourself growth if things tends to like get kind of stalled out with this federal legalization? Like,
I see us doing the same thing. I don't see us stopping. Legislation has stalled more times than I can count along this journey. So, and what do I see us in this schedule? It won't end like that. There's so much more. work to be done, so many rules that need to be and laws and rules and regulations that need to be amended. Uh, I mean, there's still tens of thousands of people still in jail for this plant. Those people need to be released. But from a business standpoint, I see us just doing what we're doing now, just doubling down, being smart about it, and continuing to grow, establishing our footprint.
You know, somebody mentioned to me you got this wholesale portal, and it seems near completion that you have mentioned for all franchisees to purchase. When does that wholesale portal go live, and what category does it cover? Merch, consumables, brand products.
Right. So that is the creation of our distribution for our franchisees, right? And one of the, so what does that cover? That covers from flour to edibles to beverages and Lazy Days merch, right? And everything branded. So um, that's what we be uh, releasing our Lazy Days coffee, our Lazy Days K cups. Let me see. I got these. One second. So we just came back from the Hemp Beverage Expo, and then I was able to secure my.
Okay.
You can see that right there.
Oh,
So this is the Lazy Days K cup right here, and this is 25 milligrams per pod of hemp-derived THC, and it's amazing coffee. And now you can take home the Lazy Days experience with you and have it one dose at a time for your wake and bake morning Joe. So
what I was thinking. If everything goes well, with the Schedule 3, that's relief deduct costs. You guys get run out of over business, and I'm looking at what you have here, and I'm saying that, man, you guys will be able to ship that anywhere in the U.S.
yeah,
easily.
yeah, absolutely. So to answer the question, the wholesale portal, well, the e-commerce, that's going to be a second part, right? I mean, with the website is kind of divided into three areas, right? There is uh, your online order, so you can do coffee and weed to go, or for pickup or delivery, right? And you can go to the website and do that. And if you're sitting at home on your computer and you're like, I don't have time to go pick up some herbs and a coffee, you can get it ordered and it'll arrive right to your front door. And then there's the second part is going to be the e-commerce part of it, right? Is where we can ship directly to our consumer, right? And whether they want infused coffee, non-infused coffee, Lazy Days merch, whether hats or rolling papers or glass, seshware, that can be shipped directly to them. And then within that same portal, within that same e-commerce, there'll be at the back end to that our franchisees or our other clients can log in directly and shop, from our extensive, variety of hemp products, right? And a lot of that will focus on, like I said earlier, flour, edibles, and beverages, as well as Lazy Days merch.
Man, dude, this is amazing. You've done so much in a short amount of time, man. But I was reading because I was catching up on their company and just going over. What caught my attention was the cannabis beverage market is projected at by the end of this year to be reach about 16 billion, and by 2030, 25 billion. It was. This is up from a $5.3 billion CBD market in 2021. States like Minnesota allow low doses of THC, but I'm trying to get an idea of somebody who is building a franchise like Lazy Day and consumption lounges. Is your opinion on where the market's going, and is something cannabis beverage like you're doing coffee but doing other beverages? Or is that going to be a part of your revenue driver in the years to come? I know you got the.
Oh, absolutely. We know beverages. We know if we know anything, we know our customer and we know cannabis beverages. We've been experimenting with infusing these beverages for years now, right? And we've already expanded into it. So it's, our menu already offers coffees, a whole long list of teas, matchas, and we've been experimenting and already rolling out some really cool THC cocktails, right? Pineapple Express and I can't even remember all the cool names that came up with them, but yeah, we are absolutely already looking into what the future of THC beverages is going to look like. We just came back from the Hemp Beverage Expo and we met awesome brands, super cool, super cool products, super cool people. Um, we came across a infused flavored coffee syrup, right? So you could do pouches per, individual flavorings. We came across infused wines, a great company called Bud and Bloom, I believe. We came across the cocktail mixers, right? So if you wanted to put these on tap and have, THC cocktails on tap, these were the mixers for them. And so these are a THC infused beer or beer flavored beverage. I think that's what they called it, right? And as a person who loves beer and has always been accustomed to just traditionally having a nice cold beer after mowing the lawn, this hit all the spots. It tasted like beer. It felt like a beer. There was an effect, and yeah, and so really cool products that will be rolling out. You see a lot of coffee and beer concepts. I think we'll be able to I'd say kind of merge the two. Something little tidbit of things that I've been thinking about, right? Is you got these two lanes, you got THC and you've got alcohol, right? And they're both intoxicants, right? And I think, as much as I don't necessarily think that we are a bar, like, that serves alcohol. I don't think anybody thinks of us that way. Um, so, but do I want to completely alienate people who do still enjoy alcohol, right? And that's not the point, right? If they're able to enjoy these beverages, that they have the freedom and the right to enjoy, can I provide a space that allows them to enjoy both of these types of beverages, right? And take every safety precaution and understand the rules and regulations to provide this type of space. I've already visited. I just recently went to a concert that at the beer, the drink stand, they had beer. They had a nice menu of beer, and then they had a menu for THC drinks, and I was like, that's where it's heading, and so we want to provide that space, normalize it. Yeah, for sure. We're absolutely we're going there.
Man, with the change of how people, alcohol is significantly getting less, and the consumption of cannabis is starting to rise. Just even for medically, like just leisure consumptions and stuff like that, and people are like you start seeing the change of this is be preferable than
Yeah,
alcohol and stuff like that, and you're seeing that with the new generation.
yeah.
Um,
It's not like like even if it's like preferable or like it's just like the option, right? It's not
yeah,
like I say like I prefer one over the other. It's whatever I choose to drink or ingest or consume with how I want to feel, right? And I should have the freedom and choice to do that, right? And if you visit, depending on what state you're in, if you visit your local liquor store or Target or Walmart, you will see that these drinks are now taking up quite a bit of shelf space, and they're not going anywhere.
yeah. So, I do want to ask you about a couple of people was asking about the shareholder, and I know we spoke about you have no plan of dilution because nothing like that is like on the table. But I do want to know like the path to like OTCQB. In 2025, you did achieve like the pink. That was a milestone itself. But is there a roadmap to OTCQB when you change the name? What I mean, when you finally get that, and then the challenge of the minimum bid price. Is there a plan of a reversal or a split? Anything like that looking like in the future?
No, no, there's not. No. I mean, I wish I could just say like, oh yeah, we're gonna, do this to the structure, but I don't have any plan. There's no deal that would create dilution. Um, there is no plan on a reverse for any reason. I think it'd be healthier for us to do a buyback, in the future, and the road to QB or uplisting. In the world of hype, all I can do is focus on fundamentals, right? And um, in theory, and that increases value, right? And that's what I'm
Yeah.
supposed to be doing is creating value, and that's it. That's all we can do, and then there's always marketing and investor relations that can help bring people to the table who are interested in supporting the company. Uh, but yeah, no plans on either of those. Uh, it's to continue to create value that should, in theory, like I said, maybe reflect in the share price. And QB or NYSE or Nasdaq or even the Texas Stock Exchange will all have their requirements, and it's our job to meet those requirements. And when we do, uh, ready to rock.
Yeah, man. It gives people basically an overview since we're coming close to the end. June, you opened three locations in Houston, Baltimore, San Marcos. You got the ticker change to Daisy, working on that, and then marketing campaign launched for investor awareness. Wholesales portal go live. I love the new coffee K cups, man. That's going to be revolutionary when you start getting them really out there, the flagship stores, and then ongoing San Antonio, Denver corporate real estate reference to two new corporate locations. That's one of the things I'm going to ask you. How's that going before we get off?
So San Antonio is crushing it. This franchise down there,
Yeah.
crushing it. They are looking at their second and third location. They are working on the lease. I think the real estate portion that we wanted to do, unfortunately, deal didn't work out. Numbers didn't, couldn't meet in the middle. All good. But the second San Antonio location is still moving forward. They have a new uh, 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 prospect space, and let them get through the paperwork. Right, that's still going to happen. Uh, Denver, same thing. Couldn't meet in the middle. Wasn't the right time. Wasn't the right space. Do we still have plans for Denver? Always have had plans for Denver. It is always about location, 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 and that's the last thing you don't want to make a bad decision there. Yeah. So then a couple of other cool things that we just did. Got the lazydays.com website domain. So we've always operated under Lazy Days Co. or Lazy Days Shop, and it's nice to finally have the shortest version of our own name in our domain. So uh, I think next quarter we'll be moving on to lazydays.com, and that'll make it easier for our customers to find us and search and all the fun stuff that comes along with that owning that part of our brand. And I hope to have the ticker symbol done by next quarter. We'll see what happens with FINRA, and they don't give me any more slack. But it's been fun getting them all the paperwork they've been asking. We would see Kerrville opening hopefully next quarter. Uh, find someone who would love to, or group that would partner with us in Vegas. That's always fun. We still have that lotto slot available in Vegas. So whenever the CCD or CCB out there in Nevada decides to open that up, we'll be ready. What else? There's a couple of things that we just did. Setting up the distro warehouse, getting all that process, rolling out to make just add more value to the franchisees and to the company. It's going to be a huge revenue engine for us. It's going to be clean, better processes. Yeah, it's gonna be much smoother for our franchisees as they roll out.
One thing I want to go over: how many coffee shops you think you're gonna probably open Lazy Days, you're probably gonna open in Texas.
Texas, let's shoot for like 600. I was yeah.
that, that's gonna be great. Is any other state you think you have the same feeling that you have in Texas? Any other state you have in mind that you feel like this could be the next San Antonio, next Texas,
Oh
right here?
yeah, I think Florida is huge. I think Florida is massive. California and New York always good places to go. Cost of doing business varies from these four states, but from a brand perspective, that's where you want to be, right?
Yeah,
Um, Texas is massive, right? So we'll focus there. We'll expand out. Strategically, we'll be smart about it where it makes sense.
yeah. Man, guys, I appreciate Hans, CEO of MEDH Lazy Days. Man, I can't. I'm gonna be happy when that change. It's gonna be a good look. But people that have been paying attention, stay tuned. Email me, send me questions. Well, I'll try to get him on quarter 4 because this guy's busy. This guy's super, super busy.
Hey, you know what we're gonna do is we'll probably end up. This is probably gonna be on a subscription service, dude. So
Yeah,
it's like set it and forget it, right?
yeah,
And people just get their
yeah.
monthly supply of
Yeah.
infused K cups. So yeah,
Yeah.
so that's gonna be part of our little business model. So stay tuned. I'm gonna slip
Yeah,
that in.
stay tuned. And anybody, I know tons of people ask me like about where the locations are. I'll grab that from him. 'Cause definitely a lot of people in Texas. If you guys want to know about the K Cubs, I'll make sure I get a date or when he's ready to put them out there. Like send a list of people that's gonna be able to go on the website and get that done. But besides that, you guys, I appreciate y'all. Peace.
Thanks, Kenny. Have a good one, man.